Hi, I'm Miss Osborne, and I wanted to talk to you about how I got from high school to college. I'll start off by saying that I went to high school in Louisiana at C.E. Byrd Magnet High School, and I ended up going to Dartmouth College for college in Hanover, New Hampshire. There are a couple of things that I did along the way that I think really helped to set me up for success, and so I wanted to share those things with you. Starting with freshman year. I came into high school knowing that I really liked and did well in English and history. And so I signed up for honors classes in those subjects. I also wanted to make sure that I could join some clubs and meet my friend group. I didn't go to middle school at the school that fed into that high school, but I knew I wanted to find some friends. So I joined the Latin Club. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I joined the Red Cross Club because I really wanted to help people out. And I did end up finding friends there, and they were really good friends who helped to push me forward towards my goals. And we all were talking about college all of the time and what we wanted to do after high school. And they're some of my friends today. And I will also say that I took the ACT for the first time my freshman year. I didn't have to do this, and not everybody necessarily needs to, but I wanted to make sure that if I wanted to apply for summer programs that needed an ACT in the future, I would already have that. So sophomore year, I started to take a few more honors classes. I added one in honors science. I took on some leadership roles in my clubs because I knew that colleges and universities really like to see people who took charge of their club experiences and got some leadership skills. I found classes that I really loved. And yes, I really love English, and yes, I really loved history, and I wanted to continue in those, but I also learned that I loved art. And so I took as many art classes as I could, but I didn't know that I loved that until I explored that subject my sophomore year. And I also started to think about what I was doing outside of school so that I could develop myself even further and be able to use that on college applications in the future. So I took on a leadership role in the dance troupe at my church, and I also started to teach other students in my church. Sophomore summer was a chance for me to get my first job. The kind of experiences that colleges and universities are looking for are not just things that you do in school. And we know that not everybody has the chance to just spend time on clubs, and working is really important. So I was able to get that job and get some really good experiences through that, develop some skills, and realize that it was not what I wanted to do in the future. I was a secretary for a business for a woman at my church, and I knew I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started to shift the kinds of things that I got into so that I could have different choices in the future. I also attended a summer camp, a science summer camp on a college campus. It was easier for me to stay in the mindset of school if I did some school related things during the summer. It was really fun, but I also got to learn things. Junior year was where I really got to have some good experiences that set me up for success in the future. Started taking AP classes. This was the first time that they're offered at my high school for students, and I also continued in my honors classes. I continued taking on leadership roles in my clubs. And really importantly, I started talking to my family. So I talked to my brothers about their college experiences, and I talked to my dad about the money that we might have for college. I was the last person in my family to go to college. I was the youngest. And so I wanted to make sure that I was setting myself up for the kind of experience that I wanted without my dad taking on too much of a burden. I also took the PSAT. I wanted to see if I could qualify for the National Merit Scholarship. I didn't, and that's okay. But it was a really good experience for me, and still helped to set me up for success. And I retook the ACT so that I could get the score that I would use to apply for colleges. Junior summer was transformative. I applied for using my ACT score and attended the Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America summer program. It was a chance for me to meet other really academic-minded and justice-focused students from across the United States, and we spent a summer on Princeton University's campus, and we learned what it meant to be leaders, and we got to visit a lot of different prestigious colleges. And I got a college counselor through this program who is a lot like a Gear Up coordinator who can help me figure out exactly what I wanted in a college, what was a good fit for me, and how I could make sure that I could capitalize on my senior year to reach that goal. And speaking of senior year, working with my college counselor, I finalized the list of colleges I wanted to apply to. I wrote a lot of college essays and filled out those applications, and I made sure to submit everything on time. I still work to improve my grades. I've never been great at math, and so I wanted to make sure that I put my best foot forward. So I got a math tutor and worked on that grade. And I also filled out my financial aid applications that year. I do not come from a rich family. I wanted to make sure that I was not taking out loans if I didn't have to. I did end up taking some out, and that's okay. But filling out those financial aid applications was a great start. I wish that I had filled out more scholarship applications, but looking back, I really should have done that. But filling out my financial aid applications was a good start. And I made sure to visit my top 3 colleges before making a decision. I got to Dartmouth's campus having never visited before and realized that it was the perfect place for me. And so after I visited, I went ahead and accepted, and that's where I spent the next 4 years.